You know what time it is. It's time for the Calvary Coaches Show here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I'm Thrift Barringer, and with me and joining me today is the head coach of the boys program, Coach Jonathan Gordon. Coach, thank you so much for joining us, man.
No problem, man. I appreciate you having me.
I thought it was due justice that I be on this show. We and Richard, we kind of take turns on doing all the 9 million shows that we do here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. But I did your last two games against Sly County and against Shaw. Me and you were very close. I keep up with the program, and I'm just like, let me hop on with my guy, man. So let's go ahead and get into it. We are presented by Master Wall. Thank you to Grant Smithwick, C. Smithwick, and Master Wall for their support and being the presenting sponsor of all Calvary Christian Athletics. And we always appreciate them, man. They are just, and you know about Grant and Steve, man. Those guys are great basketball minds. Not only that, but they are also big into giving back into the community, and we appreciate them. All right, Coach, let's talk about last week. You've had to overcome a lot of obstacles, dealing with injuries, crazy circumstances that have happened, and you were able to dominate Sly County. You actually got off to a 30-5 start. I was there for that. It's the hottest start I've ever seen a team do in the 3 years I've been doing this. And then, after that, you're winning bad. It happens. Sometimes kids at this age kind of lose focus. You end up winning that game by 10. We'll start with that one. What did you learn about your team last week against Sly County?
Well, I mean, that's kind of how basketball goes. Sometimes you're hitting everything, and other times you're not. I think what we focused on when we got up by a big number that game is I wanted to really focus in on our weaknesses. We've been a really good 1-2-2 playing team, and our press has been good. Haven't been the best in man-to-man yet, so we kind of focused on kind of working on man-to-man in the in-game situation to kind of improve that. And they came back a little bit, and we had our bumps in that game. Still came out with the win, of course, but I'm not really interested in having a 50, 40-point win on Matt's Preps more than I am interested in trying to work on weaknesses when we do have leagues like that so that we can be stronger down the road. So I was really, really impressed with how we came out. We came out with a lot of energy. It was Dylan Hostin's first game back. And there was also Liam Hokut's first game back. And so everybody was really hyped up to have them back on the court, and they were hyped up to play. And so I wasn't really shocked. No, Liam didn't play that game. Sorry, Liam didn't play that game. It was Dylan Hostin's first game back, and Liam was still injured with an ankle injury. But I think everybody's really excited to be back at home, playing a home game, and they just came back. They came out hot. Dylan came out, went 100% from three in the first quarter, and then Junior went 100% from three in the first quarter, along with a couple and-ones mixed in with TJ, and they just came out ready to play, man. And so I was really, really pleased with our energy and our effort and how we came out. I wasn't as pleased with how we finished the game, but that's just something that we got to continue to work on.
Yeah, and Coach, having a fully healthy team. I mean, we talk off air all the time, man. It's like you cannot catch a break of having a fully healthy roster. Everything that your team has had to go through here over the last couple of months. You play Shaw, all right, and this is a much anticipated matchup. We talked about on the broadcast, obviously, with Jade Irvin and Shawdell Irvin, both used to play at Shaw, and now they're going against their former teammates. Exactly. And you end up losing this game. And I want to preface this. This game, both teams could not hit the broadside of a barn, especially from beyond the arc. It was one of those struggle games, and you end up losing by 4 points. You had one of your best players, Hostin, end up not even playing the entire second half. What was kind of the mindset after that game? And I know you want to win against Shaw because it helps you towards your rankings at the end of the season when you're getting seeded for the GIAA. But in the end, this is a public school. What'd you learn about your team on Saturday?
I feel like I could have did a lot better job that game. I feel like we didn't implement Liam Hokut as much in the offense. We could have dumped it down. Shaw doesn't have as much size as we have, and I feel like I should have dumped it down in the post to him a lot more to get a lot of post-ups. The goal was to play through Dylan in the second half in the inside and kind of allow him to dominate with his size and his skill. I don't really think Shaw really had a guy that could really match up with him down there. And then when I got the tap on my shoulder from my trainer that he was out for the game, it kind of changed up a little bit of my, mindset as far as what I want to do. But I mean, it really came down to the fact of we average 9.3 threes a game as a team, and I think we hit 4 that game. So when we're not shooting as well, we have to find different ways to attack and be effective. And also, TJ had an off game as well, scoring the ball. He's averaging 24 a game. He had 10 that game.
Yep.
So it was an off game overall for us on offense. But I told the guys, like, that's not an excuse. We have to find ways to win ugly games because there's going to be times where nobody can score. And I think there was a moment, about a probably 2-3 minute stretch where our defensive intensity dropped. And I think some of it was because of our offense. Our offense we couldn't get it going offensively. I told them, like, to only turn the ball over 5 times in a basketball game is exceptional. So we wasn't playing bad. We just couldn't hit shots. And so I can try to continue to encourage them to let them know, like, hey, guys, we're playing good basketball. We're moving the ball. We're taking the shots that we want. They're just not falling. Continue to play defense. Continue to do what you're doing on defense, and you'll still win this game. And we had about a 2 or 3 minute stretch where we just didn't defend the same way that we were. We were kind of, had our heads down a little bit because the offense wasn't going. And so I think as a team, we learned from that, hey, if offense ain't got it going, we can still get stops. We can still get rebounds. We can win a game 30-32 if we have to. I get as a team right now, before that game, we were averaging 72 points a game as a team, which is great. But some games you're not going to score that much. And so I think as a team, we learned that on days like that, we're going to have to defend. We're just going to have to defend well. We're going to have to rebound well. We're going to have to stick with what we do. I think we're a really good defensive team. We're locked in. The last couple of games, I think the last 3 games, teams have only scored 1 to 2 field goals in the first quarter against us.
Yeah.
So when we're locked in on defense, we defend really well. And so we just have to hang our heads on that end. Regardless if the offense is going or not, we have to hang our heads on that end. And if we do that, I feel like we can pull out more of these close. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
But also, I mean, obviously, I think with 100% health, we're probably 6-0 right now. But
yeah,
that's part of
when I was looking at the schedule, Coach, in your 3 wins, you're putting up over 80 points a game. In your 3 losses, you're putting up 50. And that's where you got to rely on your defense. But like you said, even in those losses, 2 of them, you didn't even give up 60 points. So your defense was there. Sometimes shots just not being able to fall. Let's talk about what you got coming up, man. You take on Wiregrass is out of Dothan. They gave it to you last year. They're a pretty good program. You go on the road to play them. Mm-hmm. Then you decided to schedule the second best team in our area. And many people argue maybe the best team. Carver and Central won't play, but talking about Carver next Monday. Then you have Tatnall Square. That's one of the top 4 teams. If you tell me preseason, they're one of the top 4 teams that are preseason favorites to win it all. You're in that group too, Coach. And then you got to play in the Muskogee County Showcase against Spencer, another ranked team in Sandy Spills. So that's a tough gauntlet these next 4 games. Yeah. What are you telling your team? How's the psyche of your team? What are you trying to do through this? Because in the end, there's only one GIAA matchup. The rest really don't go towards your region or anything like that. So what's the expectations for you going through the next 2 weeks?
Well, in the GIAA, Thrift, every game matters, man. They go off of rankings as far as your playoff seeding. So strength of schedule and wins and losses in the non-region schedule is just as important as region games in the GIAA. So it's important that we come out and we win games, regardless of who we're playing or GHSA, whatever it may be. And so we have the mindset of that every game is a region game. I like to schedule hard games, man. It just is what it is. I want to play competition. We could sit back and no offense to any Calvary team that's ever played before I got here, but we can sit back and we can play a bunch of private schools and we can play a gap schedule and we can do that and we can win a bunch of games. We'll probably be undefeated right now. We probably won every game by 30.
Right.
But that is not going to help the guys that want to play at the next level. That's not going to help our team grow. That's not going to see how much they can maximize themselves. And so I want to play tough teams. I want to play the Carvers. I want to play the Chellies, the Centrals. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I have a lot of guys that have a chip on their shoulder that believe they can compete and play with anybody. And I think up to this point, even though we've lost 3 games, those 3 games were winnable games that we lost either in the fourth quarter or
Overtime.
it hasn't been a blowout. So we've proven that we can play with every team that we've played against. And in my opinion, we should have won every single one of those games, especially if I would have had my 4 horses. So I think, we've played. I love playing a tough schedule. I love playing competition. Carver is a great team. They're well coached. They have a lot of talent, and we want to play them. And they're coming to our house, and we feel confident at our house, regardless of who we play against. And we feel like when we play at Calvary, we have a chance. And so we're going to go out and we're going to compete. We're going to play hard, and we're going to let the chips fall. But like I said, Thrift, every year we're trying to build, we're trying to grow, and we're not going to be able to do that if we don't play the best to see where our measuring stick was. Last year we lost to Carver by about 60. I'm planning on that being a completely different coming in this year. So we're just trying to get better. We're trying to see where we are as a program and keep evaluating ourselves. And the only way you can do that is if you play against the best. So.
Yeah, you learn from the best. Coach Corey Black doing the same thing about scheduling tough competition to get you ready for those GIAA region games and playoff games. Playing this tough competition will get you better. I got to ask, what are some things you want to work on as a team? What are some things that you feel like your team needs to improve on as you head into this kind of like Christmas break games into region in January?
We need to be better in the man-to-man defense. We gotta do a better job of playing help defense. Second thing, we have to be better in the interior scoring. Liam Anderson this is his first year playing basketball ever, and he's done a great job on the boards. He's averaging about 8 rebounds a game. He plays hard, but we have to, as a coaching staff, we have to get him in the gym and teach him how to play offense because we want him to score more. We want him to at least score about 4 to 6 points a game if he can do that. Also, we want to dump the ball down to Liam some more in the post and use our size. I think we have one of the biggest teams in the city, but we haven't done a good job of, and this is on me as a coach, we haven't done a good job of getting the ball inside and allowing guys to use their size. We've relied so much on perimeter because we have so much perimeter talent. I mean, you got TJ that's averaging 24, you got Junior that's averaging about 20, you got Dylan averaging 16. But it's all on the perimeter. And so I think we need to utilize our size more, get the ball inside and get some post-ups and play some old school 2000s ball a little bit. And I think that will open up our perimeter game even more. I feel like TJ has had a lot of pressure on him to make plays in close games. And that pressure sometimes is a lot on the kid. So we want to kind of diversify our offense a little bit and allow other guys to kind of step up and score in different ways. So we got a whole week to practice, and I'm really excited about it because there's so many things that I want to work on. And so I'm really excited about how we're going to look, moving forward. And like I said, man, I still got a young team, man. Most of my best players that are, doing most of the damage are still juniors. So a lot of them outside of Shadell, they'll be back next year. And so we're still trying to learn each other. We're still trying to, build the culture. And the one thing I love about this team, man, they love playing with each other. Like, I don't have any guys arguing at halftime. My kids, they sit with each other and they laugh and joke. And before the game, they win or loss, they're with each other after the game. We have a great culture. And so I feel like as we continue to build that, and as long as those kids love each other and they play hard for each other, we're going to get better. And so I'm just excited about, this week of practice to put a couple more things in that'll help us diversify our offense and solidify our defense.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see how your team continues to grow, and hopefully this team now will be not the same team when it comes to February, and that's what every coach hopes for.
Sure.
All right, Coach, go ahead. This is kind of your cry because we won't have you until the next time we do a coach's show, which will be 2 weeks from now. You got a Carver on Monday. We're going to be there at Georgia Alabama Sports Live, but this is for everyone in the community who want to come out your next home game. The last two, Shaw and Sly, the gym has been packed. I've been really impressed with the Calvary community. So talk about the community that's come out and supported your team so far and what everyone else would be in store for next Monday, your home game against Carver.
Man, I'll tell you this, Thrift. The Shaw game was on a Saturday, so I knew we wouldn't have a great student section.
And SEC championship, too.
Right, and it was the SEC championship. So I knew our student section wouldn't show up for that one as much. But they always show up, man. They show out. And the special part about Calvary is our student section isn't on the side. It's right in front. It's right in front of the goals. So they heckle other players. They cheer super hard, when our guys hit threes. And every game that our student section has really showed out, we've showed out. Like we just come out super high and firing. There are six man, they really make a huge difference. And I think, you have to really come to a Calvary game to get a full experience. I think if you're in the city and you've never come to a Calvary Christian home game, you're in for a treat if you come out and watch, because our fans, man, they show up. They really show up, and it's a lot of fun. We have so much energy in the gym. Our student section goes crazy. And we missed them Saturday, man. I promise you. I think a couple of those shots that we missed would have went in if our student section was there, because our guys just feed off of it. They are so energetic. And so, again, Monday we play Carver at Calvary. It's on a Monday, so there's no other games in the city. I recommend everybody come out and watch it. I think we're going to put on a good show. We're going to compete hard. We're going to fight hard. Of course, Carver's going to put on a good show. They got really good players. You got Tony Montgomery, T.J. Woodson. You got Bye-Bye. That's his nickname. I can't think of his real name. The big man at Carver.
Tobias Tolbert.
Tobias Tolbert.
Yeah.
I know him as Bye-Bye. So, but they got
every one of his shots go bye-bye if you try to shoot it over him, man. You got to be smart.
He's averaging 6 blocks a game. But they have a lot of great players that you can come out and watch. And I think we have some really good players you can come out and watch. And I think it'll be a fun game, man. Like I said, if you've never been in a Calvary gym to feel that experience, you really need to come out and check it out. And I'm pretty sure our student section will be jumping for that one, seeing that it's a Monday and it's a school day. So come out and watch to get the show, man. I think it'll be fun.
I think it's going to be fun as well. Coach, thank you so much for your time. You're 3-3. Calvary Christian Knights have another game this Friday. And as you keep trucking along this long season, not off season. It's the Calvary Christian Coaches Show with Coach Jonathan Gordon, Thrift Barringer here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.